Hello everyone, my name is Alyan Fiverrwala and today I am live with very special guest Mr. Shea. Former frontman of Heathen Prophet has transitioned from music to politics, announcing his presidential bid for 2028 to 2032 as a musician and gamer. Shea offered a fresh perspective on leadership, blending artistry with ambition. Today, we explore his unique journey and vision for America. Hello, Mr. Shea. How are you?
I'm well. Shall I call you Alyan?
Yeah, it's correct.
Okay. Yes, I'm good today. We're in Tampa, Florida, and we in just a few hours we'll be doing a fundraiser for our charity work. We're doing
That's
humanitarian work mostly in Pakistan, but we have
hmm.
responded internationally to disasters across the planet. So this is what we do most of the time. Uh, are you speaking? I can't hear you. Now I can. I think I can hear you now. It cut
Okay,
off
okay,
the audio. Cut off. Yeah.
okay. Sorry. Okay, so Mr. Shea, my first question in your screen. Can you tell us about significance of the name Heathen Prophet? What inspired it?
So I, in my studies, I have studied politics, religion, philosophy, um, economics, all these kinds of topics, social sciences, basically. So I grew up in a Baptist, which is a Christian family. My father, he has they call reverted to Islam, and he's living, working in Pakistan. So I have gotten, perspectives. I've learned a lot, mostly on those two religions, but I've tried to study as many of the religions as I can, um, and I don't claim to be an expert on any of them, but I have gotten a general idea of many of them. So I use the term heathen prophet as kind of one and conversation starter. Prophet means different things to different people. So for Muslims, prophet is, you are speaking the will of God. But prophet can also mean that you are making predictions of the future in a secular way, not in a religious way, not claiming you're speaking uh, as you're claiming you're the will of God. So if you look at the definition prophet, this is one of the definitions, and it can be a non-religious way to say this is going to happen, or this is a prediction I'm making for the future. So I use it in that sense. Heathen, the term heathen, is outside of, especially in a Christian sense, outside of religion. You are not part of their doctrine, their religious doctrine. So I use the term heathen prophet as kind of a conversation starter and kind of to get people, in a sense, it gets people riled up. You know, um, it gets people emotional on to some extent, but then I try to explain. I'm not claiming to be, you know, Muhammad or Jesus or any of these people resurrected. I'm just using it in a secular sense as a conversation starter to bring people together, to get them to think a little more, to maybe see the other side, the other perspective. um, in our work, I work closely with my father, who started our organization, CDRS, Comprehensive Disaster Response Services, nonprofit humanitarian charity, mostly working in Pakistan. So I have gotten a perspective on Muslims that many Americans and Westerners may not have. That's starting to change. the more time goes on, um, every day that goes by, every year that goes by, everyone's starting to learn more about each other's religions and cultures, their countries, and how things operate. And I think this is a great thing. Um, I'm hopeful that maybe eventually this understanding will lead to us being able to work together, live together more peacefully. That unfortunately there are conflicts in the world. We all know in the last couple weeks what's happened in Gaza. Um, and we can talk more about that if you wish. But my hope is that over more time, we will educate ourselves and educate each other better on why we believe what we do, why we act the way we do, why our laws are what they are, and then maybe together we can form in the future better laws, especially international laws that are more solid, more uh, better consensus among multiple countries and multiple cultures, and that we can go into the future with more of a solidarity, because this is what's needed if there's to be world peace. And I would like to work towards that goal. If whether it's possible or not, I'm not really, that's not my place to say, but this is what I desire to work towards: world peace and understanding, getting people the education and healthcare they need to survive and thrive together. That's, you know, you you just got to try your best to do that. Whether it's possible or not, that's not what I need to discuss. But you just got to try your best to make it happen. That's all.
Wonderful, sir. That's great. Awesome. So, how do you feel your experience with Heathen Prophet have prepared your for the presidency?
So I, because of my travels, I've traveled to Pakistan, I've traveled to Philippines. I want to travel more and see more places, meet more cultures, and learn more things. The good thing is that many presidents, they have reached elevated age before they are elected, before they're even considered or nominated. Anything. They have years of experience behind them, and I think my uh, my speaking, my willingness to run in for 2028 um, gives me time to learn. It doesn't mean I'll be president in 2028. Very likely not. In fact, I may never be president. But having that as a conversation starter gets people to at least be like, "Oh, this person's crazy. Let's see what he has to say." It's interesting to people. So I'm not of the age to be able to run for president in 2024, and I'm likely not of the age to have any success anytime soon, or possibly ever. But I like to say, you know, I'm running for president because at least people will give you the chance. They'll give you, yeah, okay, what? Give me 10 seconds. Give me 1 minute. What are your thoughts? What policies would you institute? So this is the thing, and I think my unique perspective with charity work, understanding what, especially in a country such as Pakistan, which has had the relationship with U.S. has been good at times, bad at times, but it's been tumultuous, at times. Um, it's a rocky relationship sometimes with U.S. and Pakistan, and I would like for that to change. I would like for because Pakistan has been very helpful to U.S. Foreign policy. Uh, During the war on terror, Pakistan was very, very close to us in trying to further U.S. goals. And we can all talk about if the war on terror was correct or if it was misguided or, things were done that, maybe U.S. did some good things, did not. That's all things we can talk about later. But I think Pakistan really showed, most of Pakistan, obviously, there are uh, rogue actors, both in U.S. and Pakistan, who are not necessarily working for the betterment of their own country or the uh, uh, I would say, prosperity and peace of the planet. Um, but I believe most Pakistanis have the best interests of their country at heart. Most of the people, maybe not the leadership, which is the same case here. Sometimes the leadership and the wealthy elite doesn't necessarily have the best interests of the people at heart, but I believe the majority of the people of both countries would prefer peace and prosperity and working together to make all of our lives better. I do believe this. So I uh, I think my experience, I wouldn't say with Heathen Prophet. Heathen Prophet is more of a just a term, a conversation starter. It could be a musical band name. It could be for me personally, my own as a musical solo career. Um, it could be that. Um, but Heathen Prophet is, I feel, and also I do gaming as well, game content creation as just a hobby, very small, but I like to do that as well. And I think video gaming, I think VR, virtual reality, and the development of these technologies is going to be beneficial in the future. It'll have applications for education, uh, healthcare. There will also be, and we have to discuss because it is part of politics, a military application as well. And I think it can be put to better use. Um, this can be done. It can be used for training purposes. You know, if there, I saw a product the other day, and I won't name the company because it's a very new product, but it gave this idea that you are able to have freedom of movement. You're able to run. You're able to use your arms and your body to move the characters. You're moving in the world as if you were moving in real life. So this will help. One, it would be for recreational. It would be a fun way to get people moving and more exercising especially in the US, but it's in a lot of places. I've seen it in Pakistan too. There's a problem with obesity. People not taking care of their health, getting sedentary, not being active. And I think this would help. Um, excuse me, it's hot out here. Uh, whew. I think this would help with getting people active and um, more engaged and being a more fun experience, making exercise and making and there's also a component of interactivity. If you get into a video game now, you could play with anyone pretty much anywhere in the world as long as they have internet connection and a computer or a video game console, and you will meet people of very many different backgrounds and perspectives, and it increases your knowledge of the world and other people. It helps you, in my opinion, it helps you over time if you're really willing to learn and to also teach your perspective. It helps you be more compassionate, and it helps you have more understanding of why people have gotten to where they are, what is happening now, some historical background, and a different way of thinking, which I think is helpful to having a broader perspective and having maybe that helps you personally. Maybe it helps you in your community. Um, maybe a perspective of another culture gives you an idea that maybe that culture didn't have exactly, maybe you never thought of, but you're able to apply it to your people and to help in a certain situation. And we can talk about more specifics later. If anybody has a specific question, I can try to answer in a specific manner. But just in broad strokes, I believe uh, video gaming, I believe music are very strong cultural um, breaking can break cultural boundaries in a way that other topics may not necessarily can. I believe ideology and religion is one way to break barriers. Muslims and Christians can get together and speak to each other with respect because they're both people of the book. But when we're talking more in a secular sense, almost everyone enjoys music, and almost everyone enjoys entertainment of some form. Maybe they are movie buff. They like the movies a lot, or TV show. Maybe they like to read books, fictional books. Maybe they like to read non-fictional books with some entertainment value as well. Uh, Maybe they like to paint or to see paintings, all sculptures, all these kinds of things. I think the arts are very important when we're discussing how we can cross cultural boundaries and improve relations with other cultures and other peoples and other countries. And I apologize for
100% awesome.
my sweating. It's a little hot.
No problem. Awesome. So, can you share a particular song or album from Heathen Prophet that you believe capture the enhance of your political message?
Sorry about that, Alyan. I received a message and my phone cut out of the StreamYard for some reason. Apologies for that. What was your question again?
No problem.
What was your question?
Okay, I repeat my question. So, my
Oh,
question
I
is,
remember now. What song? What
it's my
song, right?
question. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have written a few songs, but the one I think applies most, and you can't find this on the internet yet right now. I'm happy to maybe at another point play it for you on my guitar and sing it for you. But there's a song I wrote called "The Tyrant," and it is about um, not just political, but any kind of person, maybe a cult leader, or even you can find it in family and friend dynamics. You have a person that is overbearing, very egotistical, and wants to control everything around them and everyone. So I wrote the song as kind of a protest against that kind of thinking and that kind of attitude and those kind of actions. So I'm trying to think of some of the lyrics, but I'll just give an overview. Basically, the song starts. The first verses are, like, the people have these kind of people have been around in humanity since our beginning, and they use, unfortunately, they will use anything to gain power. They will use their others' belief in God, others' belief in peace. They will warp. They will they will warp the message of Christianity or Islam. They will warp these messages and make people believe that they should act in a certain way or follow them, that they have the answer to to save everyone. But they don't prove it in action. When when they have to when they have to put their money where their mouth is and work for other people, help other people, they're just using them and oppressing them. They're not helping them fulfill their educational needs, their health needs. They are using the natural willingness for people to want to be better and good people. They are distorting the teachings of Prophet Muhammad. They're distorting the teachings of Jesus and all these prophets. They're distorting the teachings of even intelligent non men that are not maybe uh, theological scholars, and they are using that. Uh, they're distorting messages in order to gain control of other people. So the tyrant is like this. But so the song discusses how this person operates and how they will step over anyone. They will, undermine even their own family, friends, um, people that they claim to support. So the song goes through all this, and then at the end of the song, the masses, in terms of, let's talk in terms of just the political tyrant, dictator. Um, they the end of the song is the masses of people that they have swindled and ripped off and abused and oppressed have finally risen up and taken back their freedom and their ability to uh, govern themselves and govern for the future. Um, so this is basically a basic overview of the song. It's called "The Tyrant," and I'll try to get up a video or something on YouTube later, or I can play it for you in another uh, interview. But this is basically the song I think probably applies most to um, not just one to U.S. policy in our own country. This happens, and our policy around the world. Um, the You could apply it to undermining not just the U.S. but Russia, China. These countries, these uh, bigger, stronger, powerful nations, undermining the uh, directives of the United Nations, which is supposed to uh, promote the ceasing and the de-escalation of conflicts on the planet. But unfortunately, these more wealthy, powerful nations sometimes fuel the conflicts so that they think it's better for the economy of certain industries. So corporations that make weapon systems, or uh, corporations that make these weapon systems that are used in places of conflict, such as Gaza, such as Kashmir, such as in Afghanistan and Iraq and all these places. Um, it's less about ending the conflict. It's less about securing peace, and it's more about prolonging it so that they can keep making money. So you have instances where countries like U.S. will promote an ideology. It has been argued that the U.S. was integral in spreading Wahhabism and this militant jihad Islam across the planet. You have people that have said Israel, and this is proven. You can look this up. That Israel has encouraged Qatar to send money. It was about $1 billion to $1.5 billion to fund Hamas, and this was cash money. This is not just humanitarian goods. This was cash money that could have been used for anything. So to everyone's to what should have been no one's surprise, the group Hamas was using this for military purposes as well, and we can't track exactly how much money was spent for what purpose. And they, in I mean, I guess that's about it. Like, if you look that up, you can see that this was done. So you can, man, it's hot out here. I'm sorry. I need to find somewhere where it's cooler so I can talk properly. Um, but uh, so these powerful regimes, um, and in this instance, Israel, which is backed by U.S., um, we've given them much military and financial aid. Um, they they don't operate and they don't do things properly in such a way that we are making sure people have what they need in terms of education and healthcare, but they're funding military applications. They're funding militants in a indirect way so that they can try to deny it, but it gives them the excuse to keep fighting. It keeps them the excuse. So now what has happened is this recent attack of Hamas at the concert in Israel. Now Israel has all the excuse they want to bomb Gaza. And now we see that 6,000 bombs have been dropped in just a week. And it's probably more at this point because it's been a few more days. But they are destroying and leveling and massacring children and women and men that are innocent, that have nothing to do with this. The hospitals and schools are being leveled. So, the response is disproportionate. And if they had taken if they had instead used their, if I'm talking more of my country, US, because this is where I am. I'm an American. What I can, who I can speak to and who I can maybe influence better is my own people, perhaps. That's the hope. Um, but we, Mr. Biden, President Biden, when this happened, he said we stand with Israel unconditionally. So this is bad. This is not a good thing. What the U.S. should be doing is taking a back seat, not supporting Hamas, not supporting the Palestine military force, and not supporting Israel and the IDF. We should not be supporting either. We should be saying, listen, we our taxes are for mostly for our own people. One, we Americans don't have proper healthcare and education. It's good, it's okay, but the level of wealth that this nation has, one of the wealthiest nations in the world, and our own people are suffering here. So if we can't take of our own care of our own people properly, how can we say to the world, you know, you need to treat your people better, you're violating human rights? We need to first put our money where our mouth is and say, listen, we need to take care of our own people because they're having a problem. So take a back seat. And also in our dealings with other nations, we say, we're not supporting your side. We're not supporting your side. We will come in and we will help with ceasefire. We will help with maintaining a peaceful dialogue and trying to finally make some of these conflicts resolved. Finally come to a lasting peace, which is very difficult. It's a very difficult topic. You know, some people don't want any Palestinians there. Some people don't want any Israelis, no Jews there. There are people, unfortunately, that hate the people. They hate Muslims just because they're Muslims. They hate Jews just because they're Jews. But being a Muslim does not make you a bad person. Being a Jew does not make you a bad person. Being Christian doesn't make you a bad person. It's what you do. It's what you do with your beliefs that really defines if you're a good person or a bad person, and if you're a person that can be counted on to be peaceful or to be militant, to be aggressive. So I just think my main point to take from this is I think the U.S. needs to seriously reconsider um, all of our military and financial aid to other countries. I think it should be reviewed, and I think our policies towards other nations and our promotion, whether directly or indirectly, whether official or unofficial, whether we admit it or whether we don't admit it, I think we need to review all of that and come up with new policies, because the policies we've been having have not worked. They're not working. The conflicts are still going on, and it's just getting worse. It seems to be getting worse the more time goes on. So if we reconsider what we're using, what American taxpayers' money is going for, and the problem is that, like I said, the taxes should be, when a country is taxing their people, it should be for the betterment of the nation. It should be for helping those people prosper. And we don't even have, not even everyone here is taken, their health needs are taken care of. It is very difficult to get um, all of your health needs met. There's games the insurance companies play that they'll say you're covered, and then when something happens to you that you need you've been paying into your insurance, but then when something happens and you have an illness, at times they'll make up some excuse. Oh, this is not covered. So we shouldn't be playing these games. In America, in Israel, their health needs are taken care of. They have a good healthcare system. Other countries have a very good healthcare system that applies to everyone. So this is what the United States should do. We should take care of our people's health and education needs, and we should refuse to fund other nations until our own are met. Or if we're going to fund other nations militarily or in other financial aid, it needs to be reviewed. We need to reconsider all of these things.
Exactly, sir. Thank you so much for this, your wonderful answer. And again, thank you so much, sir, for coming in my show and giving me your precious time and sharing your knowledge and sharing your experience with us. I hope everybody learned something new with your talk, with your speech. Thank you so much, sir, again for coming.
Thank you, Alyan. Thank you for having me.
Thank you
And
so much.
anyone is welcome to contact us. Our website is cdrsworld.org. They can contact me through Facebook. Um, my name Timothy Justin Shea, as you can see on the screen.
Hmm.
And thank you for having me on the show. I hope your listeners enjoyed, and I hope your program has much success in the future.
Exactly, sir. Thank you so much.
Take care,
कभी मैंने
Alyan.
ये
Bye.
दुआ नहीं करी मेरा बेटा बड़ा आदमी बन जाए या अमीर बन जाए, बस यही थी अल्लाह मियाँ इनको नेक बना दे, यही दुआ करती थी मैं।
आपको मालूम है कि पाकिस्तान नंबर 1 कंट्री बनने वाला